Welcome to the center of light. Tonight, this is integral. Center of light being clear. Everyone should want to become that. What, a crystal ball? Sure, become a crystal ball so you can tell your own future. But also, what it really represents is absolute clarity. Not disparity, clarity. Welcome, everyone. Hanging out with my little kitty cat. She was here. She started cutting up just a little bit. Had to put her out during the break. I'm going to bring her back in. I gave her away. Wow, it hurt I cried. She came back literally 24 hours later. I was a new creature. She was a new creature. She completely chilled out. I guess maybe coincidentally, magically, mystically, we both had a shift in alignment. We both chilled out. So now she doesn't require as much attention. Now she's becoming a cat. Coincidentally? Versus a kitten bouncing off the walls. Either way, it was purposeful. We had a separation to love each other greater. It's purposeful in separation for others, for people to come together for the realization of, I love that being, that experience. A purpose for separation is the elation that happens when you come back together in relation. I had that moment with that beautiful kitty cat. Her name is Crystal. Hello, Darnell Morgan. Hello, Billie Jean. Hello, Dana. Everyone, center of light. Vulnerability. Rob Cooley. Let's see who's here in this way. Kelly Bird. Hi, Kelly. Let me check YouTube. Kelly Curtis. I knew I could see. I would expecting to see you. Hello, dear. So tonight is center of light, vulnerability. Vulnerability. Taking responsibility for your life requires vulnerability in your life. What's up, Link? Center of light, vulnerability. Check this out. Tonight's title is Unmasked. Anyone can figure that out? You know, I always have messages. Hello, Darnell. I have messages in my banners. Tonight is center of light, keyword here, vulnerability. The title is Unmasked. What do you see? The Jim Carrey character. What was the name of the movie? His face. A cover. He wants to cover his face. Did you get that? The double and triple entendres and this banner. Let me show you again. Look at Jim Carrey in The Mask. And then the face cover, which is a mask. So if Jim Carrey is the mask, does the face cover cancel out the mask? If he's the mask and there's a face cover which happens to be a mask, is this a cancellation because of the two polar opposites, which are the same thing? That's vulnerability. How is it vulnerability? Like myself and my beautiful Kiki Crystal, we were covering up stuff. I wasn't sure if I wanted a cat. She wasn't sure if she wanted to hang out with me until we got separated. Hello, quarantine. And are coming back together, as we will be doing soon, though we hang out with people. I'm talking about truly coming back together. So you see, masks are a way of disguising, hiding, shielding, erecting walls, erecting stalls. Sometimes it calls for an honest look, as we look honestly from that which we took from for so long. Now it's time to give back, not to the system, but to yourself, because we have been taking from ourselves, essentially. Essentially, when we get back to giving to ourselves what we deserve, our divine birthright, like me with that cat, the cat with me and you and we and what we all do, we begin to reveal ourselves by pulling off the mask. There's a lot of charade going on everywhere. Jim Carrey tipping his hat. He's the mask. Now he has a mask. So the mask is canceling out the fact that he's a mask. So in other words, it's mask on top of mask on top of mask, and it becomes a bunch of nonsense. I am not trivializing anyone's serious situation about what's happening in this time we call COVID-19. I don't necessarily consider COVID-19 just a virus or whatever that thing is. We don't know if it's a virus. We don't know if we are being duped. That's all irrelevant. People are dying. Why? We don't know yet. There's a lot of suspicion and theories. Some of us actually know from soul to bones that we have been duped and swooped and looped into this nonsense. So tonight is about vulnerability. Peeling yourself open to step into this place, into this space, into this grace. You see, when this is all said and done, all of it, the COVID-19, not virus, experience, teaching tool, learning session, everyone's now in confession, and it's a blessing if you see it that way. So when we open up, are you ready to open up? You've been quarantined so long, not only since March. Hello, Janie Scaife. Hello, Rena. You have been quarantined. We have been quarantined not only since March. We've been marching in quarantine since our birth. Many times back. Now we are coming back. We are coming back home. Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. You can purchase this now on Amazon.com. Keith Anthony Blanchard, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. The link is in this room. I will post it again a little bit later. Keith, why do you have a water bottle? Because I'm so hot I need to spritz. No, it's a beautiful, loving teaching tool for a brand new cat. So, what this really boils down to, hello Abigail, what this actually boils down to, at least tonight's presentation, center of light, vulnerability, opening yourself up, taking off the masks, times two, becoming naked, becoming exposed, becoming nude, not lewd. Chick-a-dude. It's about simply just revealing the truth. You are the truth. Most of our lives, we have not been revealing our own truth. Now comes COVID-19 lock-in, lockdown, sit down, be quiet, as we are being told. But actually, it's God telling us that very same thing. Sit down. Be quiet. Shh. Listen. Watch. When the time, which is coming very soon, comes to say, you can now take off your mask and resume as you were, but the world will not be the same. When that time comes, I'm going to save that. Tonight is Center of Light, Vulnerability. unmasked. When that time comes, you've been as if you need it. But we abide by the rules, not the laws. What we have on earth is not law. Well, Keith, someone broke the law. No, they did not. They didn't break the law. No matter what they done, they didn't break the law. They broke the rule. Break the rule, you go to jail, this or that. You can't, in fact, law is law because you can't break it. But when it's no longer mandated that you can resume without a mask, how are you going to feel? Simply, don't answer the question. Actually, I don't want you to answer the question. How are you going to feel when you've been let off the hook? As we are spiritual sheeple trout. Now you can resume as you were. It's over. It is over. Will it not feel strange to go to the grocery store because you have just tossed your mask in the trash? You may say, no, it won't feel strange. It will feel liberating. Hello, Brittany. It will feel liberating. Trust me when I tell you, when you walk from your vehicle to the entry of the grocery store, some part of you is going to feel something has changed. And in that changing of that something, there's going to be potentially a grasping back to the old paradigm, which you never really liked in the first place. But you're still going to hunker down because it's what you have known for the last whatever months since March when we got locked in. As much as you are anticipating the day that you can take off your mask, you will feel this strange feeling that says, I've been told I can take it off, but I'm about to walk into a restaurant or a store. And that's going to be the first hesitation. And then you're going to see one of your friends you hadn't seen since lockdown, and you're going to hug them. And as soon as you do, the automatic pilot, the habit, the default nature that we all had implanted in us since we were masked, since children, is going to kick in and say, I want to go hug my friend. And you're going to be thinking, well, they may not want me to. But that's already over. It's been declared that it's over. So your friend equally wants to hug you as well. But here's the kicker. That imprint for many people will be so strong, even after love has won and says, you are safe, you are free, go live your liberated self. People are still going to be afraid to become close to other people, even when it's over, even if it never started. Whatever that thing is, whatever that thing isn't, people are still going to default back to the mask, masking themselves with their belief of what we all thought was actually happening, whether it's conspiracy theory or actually happening. Now, in this said moment, what's actually going to be happening is the we that actually care about you, use your intuition on that, says, go play and have fun. You're still going to be scared shitless. Or you. There's going to be a liberating factor in it, but some part of us is going to resort or fall and want to resort back to the resort, the Hilton, whatever is your favorite 5-star hotel, the resort. We're going to resort back to where we felt comfortable, the 5-star hotel where we felt comfortable on vacation. Tonight is Center of Light, vulnerability. What it's going to feel like to be you when you step back into the world. Actually, when you step back into yourself. What are you going to feel like? The reason I'm bringing this presentation forth is so that you can prepare, foresee, rectify, balance, Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost it now, Holy Trinity it now, so that when it comes, you are already walking forward because you have already walked inward, upward, and toward that very destination, which you can make expedite in your experience right now. It's coming very soon, but there's going to be other uphill challenges. What's going to help you pick up your gait uphill is to peel off the mask, is to become vulnerable, to let the light of yourself be exposed, become naked, become nude, chickadood, open up and split yourself in half, and let this thing that you are learning to integrate, that is actually you, step out. Step into that. You have it. Not only do you have it, it is you. So now the integration process begins of realizing, integrating, graduating into that very said movement. It is a movement, not necessarily outward. It does require outward movement, but it requires the first step that happens in the mind. I am going to take a step. It's a conscious decision to step forward. And then you're stepping forward, you actually step inward, which brings you upward, which brings you forward, toward the same cyclical nature that the game you incited just moments ago. As above, so below. You start the process. But you have to become vulnerable. What is vulnerability? Stand up and take your clothes off. And if there's people in the room, it only accents the point. So the point actually is, it accents yourself and how you feel about yourself in the form of, I am so sweet within myself, or do I have a self-image problem? And I don't mean take your clothes. Well, Keith, you do it because your mom or your dad's here. This is not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is, how does one feel when they expose their core? Because trust me when I tell you, when you step back out into the world, when lockdown is over, that experience is going to arise in you on some degree, to some level. You have to level yourself off. I'm learning. I'm waiting. Some part of me is actually hesitating. Not because I'm scared of the world. I love hugging some necks and kissing some cheeks. I do. Tonight is Center of Light Vulnerability, unmasked, peeling yourself open, dealing with whatever you have to where there's no longer a ceiling of what you want to do for yourself. We have all been shielded, veiled, and masked, stifled our voice since we were born. Without blaming anybody, the system, maybe this is just a collective reminder of the collective karma of that which we've all been sticking out since COVID-19. October is going to be a very noisy month. I always talk about being the observant, stepping back. But I want you to step forward as well. Know when to step back, know when to step forward, know when to go inward, upward, forward, and toward. It's a dance. It's an art. Might as well get to learning the theory of it, because application time, my brother or sister, is coming. Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new release as of last Saturday, is doing very well. Number 6 in England. It is a bestseller. Thank you for your support. I will be seeing you shortly. We'll move further into this presentation. Let's see who is here. I think I see Christine Devine. James Church. Link, my brother, says, I wish I was that sure that I wouldn't harm anybody else by not wearing one. But I'm not, so I do. I understand that, bro. Hello, Pamela. She says, namaste. Back at you. Billy Jean, hi again. My thing's bouncing. Brittany says, I have been awake for 32 years of my life. God bless you, dear. So I've never worn a mask from the day I was born. Fantastic. Fantastico. Keith Anthony Blanchard, the center of light. Vulnerability. Do you know what vulnerability is? I'm going to take a song break. Look it up. Simply just look it up on the internet. Go to Webster's or whatever's your favorite dictionary source and look it up. Vulnerability. Being vulnerable. Or you can simply, even if no one is in the room or someone is here with you, but they're sleeping and you know they're not going to wake up, get naked. Apply that on all levels. Expose yourself. Tell people exactly who you are. Tell them your fears. Tell them your loves. Tell them your desires. Tell them your fetishes. Tell them who you are. Awkward, isn't it? It is part of the dance towards purity that is required of all of us to truly live higher vibrationally in 2021. I'm looking for a certain song. Here we go. We might as well look inside, see the light more. Lavender Soul, my spiritual band, comprised of members of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. Listen in. It's called See Inside, See the Light and More. Be right back. Center of Light, vulnerability. Take off the freaking mask. Welcome back to Center of Light. Good to see you, Nori. Love and sun hugs. You are loved beyond measure. All of you sexy human creatures scurrying about on this beautiful gem we call Earth. Walk softly upon your mother. The mother of your own sacred self. I learned that through this beautiful kitty cat who I separated from for a day because I decided to give her away because I thought I was too busy. I was too busy-minded of thinking such a horrible thing. And now that we have reunited, we're both in love with each other. Center of Light vulnerability. And it took me to be vulnerable to share that soft part of my heart with you. And you with others when you do such beautiful things. Center of Light vulnerability. Unmasked. Check this out. Jim Carrey, The Mask. And he's got a mask on. So is one canceling out the other? But it becomes nonsense because we're masking things on top of masking things. So soon we're going to be taking all this off and becoming vulnerable. Revealing the truth, becoming naked, becoming exposed, unveiling, if you will, seeing things as they really are. It can be scary to step out into this new world when they say, resume as you were before lock-in. Heads up, that world's dead. So everybody's going to be treading carefully taking off this and revealing their true self that they have learned and discovered more of since lockdown and because of lockdown. I've learned a lot about myself since I've been locked down. I'm not the same, nor are my friends, and nor are they to me. So we're going to be approaching each other vulnerably. They never saw this part of me. The part of me that decided to let go since lock-in and do this for myself because I deserve it. Everyone's going to be nervous. It's going to be a new world entirely. It's a new world entirely already. And then we're going to level up. But it requires everyone to level in. Vulnerability is a very powerful stepping stone and or platform to launch yourself from, to get what everyone truly deserves from you and us from them. From Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. My new release. If you have not ordered this yet, it is now available, number 6 in England. It is a bestseller. Thank you, Lord. Excerpt. Spirit says, this is 1996. Surely this is about vulnerability. It so fits. Surely you can understand that everything born of infinite potential, God is infinite potential. Surely you can understand that everything born of infinite potential has within it its own spark of infinite potential. I am in my Father's in me, and I am in you. You were born and created in the image, my image and my likeness. Surely you can understand that everything born of infinite potential has within it its own spark of infinite potential. Everything has infinite potential to become capital infinite potential. But to become invincible like me, God says, you must go deep within and reach for that infinite potential yourself. And I say to Spirit, I think I may actually understand this. And Spirit says, so Keith, you're not perplexed after all. No, I guess I'm not. You see, by your intent to go within and seek, you have pierced your confusion at last. You have just become introduced to your own infinite potential. Now let's see what you do next. As clearly as there are rewards for going within yourself for sustenance, there are definite consequences for going outside where we are right now. Definite consequences for going outside. You put on that mask of yours. Right? When you reach out to grab the world, you are vulnerable. Tonight is Center of Light vulnerability. Unmasked. When you reach out to grab the world, you are vulnerable to its influences and the rules that apply on the physical plane. It is there that you encounter the many distractions and temptations that result in your conscious disconnection. Remember, I mentioned that we have been consciously disconnected from our loved ones, or have we, is really the question. Looking to the temporal world for what you think you need implies a belief that you are lacking something. I ask you, why must you reach outward for fulfillment? Take that mask off. Versus putting it on because we're ready to reach out for fulfillment because we're worried what people think if we don't. And I'm not talking about the COVID-19 mask. That is included depending on how you feel about it and how others feel about you feeling about the way you feel about you. I'm speaking about every possible level. Looking to the temporal world for what you think you need implies a belief that you are lacking something. People's approval. I ask you, why must you reach outward for fulfillment? You can never reach your infinite potential and power that way. So as I've been saying, COVID-19 is not a virus. I'm not saying it isn't a virus. It's not a virus alone. It is an experience that began since you were born. More so became pronounced and more so announced late February, come early March. You have been quarantined within yourself to study yourself so you can express and expand to something that you have not chosen before, because now you have no choice. What else can you do? You're bored out of your skull. Now you have to reintroduce yourself to the world. We have to introduce ourselves to the world. And it's going to require to become unmasked and to become vulnerable. And when you get that, like Jim Carrey, you will have the confidence of the mask in being unmasked with your hand on your hip and your hand on your hat. Saying, "What's up, gunslinger? There's a new sheriff in town." But until then, this is coming. You will see it. So the point of this presentation is when you plant it in yourself, use these numbers and touch your third eye, your left hand. 369, 369, 369. Remember, remember, remember. Activate, ignite. When this transpires, when the world opens up again, simply depends on you, but when it's unmandated, the world opens up again, that 369 will kick in you. It will show up here. Hey, do you not remember? Oh, be aware of my feelings. I was told this is coming because I've already prepared myself. Now I'm homecoming. You're ahead of the game already if you choose to be. Either way, it will take time. So you can live in no time now and use that time of no time to bring you to that space, or you can simply process it then. Either way, you will win. One just takes longer. The stronger of the two is to do it now, because you will be ahead or riding the crest of the wave as a surfer versus somewhat, now I'm able to ride the wave. You will be ready at the bottom of the wave, ready to go. It's all energy. It's all waves. But you have to become vulnerable. What is vulnerability? Take your clothes off right now. Just simply stand up and take your clothes off. Or walk into a store. This is not about threatening or confusing other people. You know who you are. This is about you and the challenge that you face, potentially face. Walk into a store that is not so wearing a mask heavy and be light on yourself. Some people will wear it, but you're not required. Take it off. Take it off proudly. Don't think about what other people are going to think of you. They enter that store knowing that there is no mandate. So you are already relieved of the pressure. But when you walk in, some part of you may feel like, should I really be doing this? Check yourself. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should be to the hilt. It'll help you in your tilt of what is the likely truth for yourself. Walk in. Because other people did not have to go into that store, restaurant, experience, knowing that there was no mandate. So you are free and clear. So you become liberated. In fact, the potential to be ever liberated is there for you. Everyone has choice. Infinitely as above, so below, on forever it will go. Everyone knows the game. Everyone knows the rules. Everyone should want to know the laws. The law, actually. How are you going to feel knowing you can walk into an experience with your mask off? It's an unveiling. Unveiling your naked self can be a challenge. But the most beautiful result will result from that because you have resolved something in yourself. Walk out tomorrow without your mask in a place that you could see how you feel. Just simply test yourself. Hello, Wendy. Rhonda, that dance. Robert Hurton. Robert, I'm sending your book off to you tomorrow, at least no longer than the next day. I love me some Robert. So, center of light, vulnerability. Unmasked. Again, I want to show you this image. My images are always important. They have such amazing encrypted information. So we see Jim Carrey, the actor, as the character, the mask. But he's wearing a mask. And so does not one of those masks cancel out the other? So now he has two, which they don't work because they're canceling out each other. Because if Jim Carrey is the mask, and I put a mask on Jim Carrey as the mask, doesn't that mask him from being the mask? It gets crazy. So the best way to get out of the craziness of even that banner is to simply get out of the crazy. The crazy is you are pigeonholed. You have been liberated since your birth. But since our birth, we have chosen to feel that we cannot do yourself, do you, as it said. We're being choked. We're being stifled by no one other than ourselves. And no one other than yourself will liberate you. But the time is coming where we will have permission to step out. And in order to step out fully, you have to first step truly in. Because trust me when I tell you, when you see your friend who you were wanting to once again, it's going to feel somewhat awkward to hug their neck and kiss their face. That means truly, in a very beautiful way, the old world is dead. As to why we all will feel somewhat awkward to hug some necks and kiss some face. Try it now. You will see where you stand. I'll be right back. See you shortly. Welcome, everyone. Center of Light, Vulnerability. Unmasked. There's a lot of nudity that needs to happen in your life. Reveal yourself. Ways that make you feel awkward. It is one of the requisites to come back to yourself. Passion. Nothing happens without it. Nothing. Sincerity is your grandmother that gives you permission to you as a grandchild to do that thing you're asking for with your passion. Humility is what gives you the possibility of bringing anything you want forth, because you open up a gate that takes it to the ultimate level. And vulnerability is becoming unmasked and exposing that light in you that says, I am ready. I am so ready, I don't have to do anything. I have to just simply be myself, and everything becomes not only a possibility, it becomes an actuality. And in all actuality, there is no other path. Be you a Christian, Buddhist, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Islam, many paths to the path. But one of the four components to the actual path is vulnerability. Jesus made himself vulnerable and said, I am splitting myself in half, wide open. Take me, because I am completely exposed, pure and ready. And we will all have to be steady in that very vision ourselves to ever become the prophecy of heaven and earth. See you shortly. It's time for a change.
Surely as the rain may fall, I wonder why. Worried there'll come a time when my world is dry, oh so dry. In the summertime I won't have no water. It's a little bit harder to take. Lonely as I contemplate a billion stars, leaving my hands to fate. That's all I've got, all I've got. In the summertime I won't have no water. It's a little bit harder to
Welcome back to Center of Light. I have a special guest that's going to join me. Surprise. Give me a sec. The Queen. Queen of Sheba. This is Crystal. I don't call her Crystal. I just call her Kiki. It's just a common general name for a cat. But this is Crystal. Check her out. Little diamond on her head. I love this little girl. She's awesome. So I made myself vulnerable. Spirit said, you have to get rid of her. So I did, to learn a lesson. And then Spirit said, I was lying to you. You belong to her. She belongs to you. I became vulnerable. I cried like a little bitch. Expressed how much it hurt me. But Keith, I'm good in my life. Everything's good. That's awesome. Times will come soon that you're going to have to put that I'm good with myself to test trials and tribulations. So tonight is again about suggesting to you that you look at that which you hold dear, even that mask. How could someone hold a mask dear when we are released out of Egypt from bondage? We're still going to hold on to security. When an elephant is very young, they shackle his leg, its leg, to a spike in the ground, and it can't move. It literally can't move. It doesn't have the strength yet. But the engram, the splinter in the mind, hello COVID-19, you can't go anywhere, put your mask on. Since you were born, put your mask on. Don't be yourself. You've been locked in, like that elephant. Hence the reason Ganesh, the god in the Hindu tradition, represents the ability to move obstacles out of the way. But the young elephant doesn't know it could free itself. Excuse me, when the young elephant becomes an elephant, they simply keep the same peg on the elephant's ankle and shackle, when it can simply just think about whatever, fart, and the peg will come out the ground. But he doesn't have that capacity mentally. So mentally, do you truly see yourself having the capacity that when lockdown is released, because we still live in the outside world and we expect the outside world to negotiate, navigate, and dictate to us how we should maneuver within ourselves, get it done now. And even if you get it done now, it can still potentially feel very strange to go grab your friend around the neck and kiss them on their face, because you're not sure how they are within themselves to allow you or give you permission to do that. That is the new world that we're all going to have to come to a space of bringing into balance. You can do what you want. You're all free to go. Have a wonderful day. Whoever's president, whoever's not president, have a wonderful day. Resume as you were. People are still going to hold on to the mask. People are still going to hold on to masking their true self since they were born. When do you actually take your clothes off? This stuff off and become yourself. When I started this path, I did have some concern about what people will think. It's a natural place to be because of what we have been unnaturally taught, and all of us, bought into it. It's a heavy price to pay. Freedom is a heavy price to pay. But it requires a peeling away to become unveiled. I know many people that are dear to me that are simply holding back all this fucking amazing power. Every second, every minute, every hour, I can see this burning fire in them that says, Give me the chance and I will ignite. And they do that. But if they truly let go, that would apply to me as well. I have my own issues. But speaking for me as a teacher, for the people that I love and care about and see, they would simply just shift and adrift and lift into a beautiful possibility that requires being vulnerable. Center of light vulnerability. Unmasked. Take the mask off. And if it requires you to do a physical something to help you achieve a mental and an emotional and a spiritual something, it's just your way of dancing and prancing and romancing the divine. And there you will find yourself, however you choose to do it. But you have to choose to do something. I'm loving, not necessarily quarantine, because it doesn't affect me. Well, Keith, you're one of the lucky ones. I don't go outside, not because I'm afraid of the sunlight. I'm in the sun's light. I enjoy my time in this chair, this throne. Do you sit in your throne every day? In the garden, if that's where your throne is. Making food, raising your children. Well, of course, you got to raise your children. But are you raising your children, seriously raising them, versus squashing and or stifling their expression? Or are you squashing and stifling the expression of your emotional, mental, physical children? Which means, are you squashing yourself? Are you squashing that innocent child of yours? Because society, parents, religion, authority, and the like, without blame, has done just exactly that. Where are you at in all of it? So do it now, or do it later. But doing it now, you will have a greater power, potential opportunity, because you're not only riding the crest of the wave, you're at the bottom of the wave, moving with it. You've made a choice earlier and transition. Transition. If you don't do it now, you will be wishing you did. This is not a time to fuck around, if you will. The energies are high. Are you? Are you high? Are you feeling exalted? Or do you feel self-faulted? You can live in pity. Life will get shitty. You can live in joy. And oh boy, so what Center of Light always brings as possibilities for everyone, including myself, is to get real. Are you getting real? Because what you feel right here, right now, yesterday, last week, last month, last year, it's all present here. Are you vulnerable and willing and ready to be steady in the current of, I am the master of my destiny? Well, isn't God? Have you been tapping in to that very source that will lead you to that place forward, which is actually here, because God is omnipresent here now? Vulnerability. Out of the 4 key principles of my absolute, beautiful, powerful, infinite work: passion. You have to want something to ever achieve it. Sincerity. You have to believe it. Humility. You have to receive it. And vulnerability. You have to be it. Believe it. Receive it. Achieve it. Don't deviate from it. This sounds like just all a bunch of word salad. Well, let me give you some word salad dressing. These words mean a lot. if you take them in to the garden as seeds to plant within yourself. Keith, I'm happy. Fantastic. Tell me what you're doing and how you are doing it. I want it. I'm just simply, as a mirror, springboard, offering something to you. Stop being bored. Spring into something new that I have, that I want to offer to you, that looks like this. It looks like vulnerability. It looks like do what you have been told you shouldn't. Stop doing those things that you told that you shouldn't. Do the things that you told you shouldn't. Stop doing the thing, and it's all on the flip. Shoot from the hip. It's scary, isn't it? Think of one thing in this moment. One simple thing. One simple thing. Sex. That automatically sends your bells off. Positive and negative. In fact, it's not even positive or negative. It's that which is in between, the middle. Think about sex. Your favorite thing or your not favorite thing. Think about how it makes you feel. I bring that up first because it's the bell ringer of everyone. Think about your job. Think about your family. Think about that vacation you told you shouldn't because it makes you selfish. Go be a selfish son of a bitch. Do it in loving yourself for doing it. So maybe when you come back home from your vacation of being selfish, you've empowered yourself, filled yourself so much so that you now have a wellspring to offer everyone else around you. Until then, we're shooting blanks. See what I mean? Go away. Just simply go away. By choice versus go away and hunker down and stifle your voice so you can't speak. Again, no one is trivializing your sacred, precious loved one who may have been stricken or ridden by something that we know nothing about. Because you can bet your sweet bippy, it's not what we are told. Doesn't make it incorrect. Something is happening. But the greater something that's happening is yourself. It's you. Do you feel that way about yourself? Do you feel that way about yourself? I don't mean see my point. Do you feel my point? The new world is about feeling. It's not about seeing. Before it was about seeing, and this is happening, yay, and this is not happening, boo, and this is happening, boo, and this is not happening, yay. Vice versa, in, out, up, down, and all kinds of different strange freaking ways. That world is gone. And you know exactly what I'm saying to you. It's gone. So it requires a new language, a new dialect, a new possibility. Hence, when we are legally let go to go resume as we were, we have been forced upon, thumbed upon, pressed upon, not only since March, but since our birth. But now that we've been locked in because of lockdown, we can bring something forth. It's going to be strange. Learn how to balance yourself. Now, it's the only time you really have. See? Vulnerability. Be naked. Because there is coming a time that you will be in vibrational harmony with such an idea. To whatever level. To however it relates. Do you mean exactly? I mean exactly that. I don't mean anything else. Do you actually mean, Keith, that I mean exactly that? Why not help set up the decorations for the party and then show up at 12:15 when the party is winding down, and you may still have a little beer in the keg and you can get some flat beer and it's hot. You still attended the party. Why not show up at the beginning? Don't be tardy. Your love beyond measure. I will be seeing you soon. Where's my key? Oh, check her out. She is like draped on the bed. Come here, Pumpkin. Tomorrow night on Center of Light Radio is Sylvia Isaacson. She's a phenomenal psychic, Reiki master. And Thursday night on Center of Light Radio, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, is going to be Nakula Das. And we're going to be talking about sexual kung fu. I'll be seeing you soon. Your love beyond measure. Peace, love, and vulnerability.